Hello and welcome. My name is Savannah if we have not yet practiced together. I am so happy that you are here. Today I will be guiding you through a practice working towards strengthening our hips into the end ranges using our entire range of motion of the hips, also working on the hamstrings and stretching and opening them up a little bit as well, releasing any tension, any stress we may be holding in this part of the body. For class, we will be using a blanket or a towel just for a little bit of the class. So you can pause this video and go ahead and grab that. Otherwise, you will just need your mat. Know that this is your practice, so please do what is right for you. Take breaks as and when you need to. Take water whenever you like. And join me again whenever you are ready. We'll begin class in a comfortable seated position. That could be kneeling or cross-legged. Take your time to get comfortable, to get settled in, to get grounded and centered before we begin to move. Extend up through your crown of your head towards the ceiling, and then root down through your hips and your sitting bones and your feet. Your shoulders stack over the hips. And then begin to observe and take note of your breath. Your inhale and your exhale. Perhaps as you breathe in, you think about taking in something that would benefit you today or this week, or even just during your practice. And as you exhale, maybe you think about letting go of something that you no longer need. Can you hear your breath? And which part of your breath is the easiest for you to feel? Which part of your breath is longer, your inhale or your exhale? How would it feel for you to sit up just a little bit taller and to breathe just a little bit deeper? Allow your body and your mind to arrive right here, right now, together for your practice. Take 2 more breaths, and then we'll move into our first pose of class. If you had your eyes closed, you can softly blink them open. Take your time to come into a tabletop position on all fours, hands and knees. The shoulders will stack over top of the wrists, and the hips will stack over top of the knees. Ground down through all 10 fingers, both of your knees, as well as the tops of your feet. Just stay here for one big breath. Let's now bring the big toes together, the knees farther apart, and sit back towards your feet as you come into a child's pose. You can walk your hands farther out in front. The elbows can be bent if you like, or maybe you extend the arms long. If you prefer, you can take the arms alongside your body, fingers to the toes. If you would like to bring your knees farther apart, you can try that. That will add more sensation, more of a stretch into the pose. And if you're looking for something a little bit softer, with a little bit more ease, you can bring the knees closer together. Allow your forehead to rest down onto the mat. And if it doesn't reach, that's okay. You can use your blanket if you would like to have some support for your forehead. As we hold this pose for a little bit longer, can you allow the hips to come down onto the heels a little bit more? Take one more breath. Bring your arms out in front of you if they were towards your feet. Press into your hands to come into a tabletop position. Let's take the left leg back to the back of the mat and just rock forward and back a few times. The toes are tucked under here, and you'll just be feeling a stretch into the calf muscles. Good. Take the left knee back to the mat. Other side, right leg will extend long. The toes tuck under. Start to rock your weight forward and then back. A few more times. Good. Bring the right knee down. Let's step the right foot through to the top of your mat in between your hands. From here, reach your arms up or take them down to the right thigh. Low lunge. See if you can think about bringing the right foot and the left knee towards one another without actually moving anything. So thinking about scrunching up the mat. Hugging the inner thighs in towards one another. Good. Take the hands down. Step the left foot up to meet the right at the top of your mat. The feet will be hip distance apart. Bring opposite hand to opposite elbow and dangle here, dropping the head down towards the ground. The knees can be as bent as you need them to be. Good. Let's drop the hands down. Step the right foot back of the mat. Release the knee down. Reach your arms up. Low lunge on the other side. And again, here, think about bringing the left foot and the right knee towards one another. Imagining that you are scrunching up your mat. 2 more big breaths here. Keep focusing on bringing the right knee forward, left foot back. Bring the hands down, tuck the right toes under, step up to the top of your mat. Forward fold, the feet can be hip distance apart. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Hands can be however you like them. Let's continue just like this. Step the left foot back. Drop the left knee down. Reach your arms up overhead, or hands can be on the right thigh. Bring your right foot back, left knee forward without actually moving anything. So you're just thinking about that muscular engagement in the pose. Hugging the legs in towards one another, reaching the fingers up, engaging through the core a little bit as well. Drop your hands down to the mat, tuck the left toes under, step up, top of the mat. Fold down over the legs. The knees can be as bent as you need them to be. The hands can be wherever you like them. Let's step the right foot back. Right knee comes down, arms reach up overhead. Think about bringing the left foot back, right knee forward towards the top of your mat. Hugging the legs in towards one another. Reaching the fingertips up a little bit higher. Continue to bring the right knee forward, left foot back as we stay here for one more breath. Release your hands down, step the right foot up, top of your mat, forward fold. We're going to continue just like this, moving a little bit quicker, and keep thinking about bringing the front foot back towards the back of your mat, and the foot that is in back towards the top of your mat, just like what we've been doing. We'll step the left foot back, bring the left knee down, reach your arms up. Good, bring the hands down, step it up, forward fold over the legs, top of the mats. Right foot will step back, release the knee down, reach your arms up. Bring the hands down to the mat, top of your mat, fold over your legs into your forward fold. Left foot will step back, back of your mat, releasing the knee down, reach your arms up. Bring your hands down, step up, top of your mat, forward fold. Right foot steps back, bring the right knee down, arms reach up, hug the legs in towards one another, scrunching up your mat without actually moving anything. Hands come down, forward fold, top of the mat. We'll do a few more of these. Left foot steps back, arms reach up, left knee comes down. Hands come down to the mat, step up, top of the mat, fold down. Right foot steps back, bring the right knee down, arms reach up. Hands come down, step it up, top of your mat, fold. Left foot steps back, last one on each side, arms reach up. Hands come down, step it up, fold forward over the legs. Right foot steps back, bring the right knee down, arms reach up. Right knee comes forward, left foot comes back without actually moving anything. You're just thinking about that muscular engagement through the legs. Bring the hands down, fold forward over your legs. Bring your hands to your shins, the fronts of your lower legs. Press your hands into your shins and your shins into your hands. Reach your heart forward. Release your hands down to the mat. Step both feet back to plank. Take the hips up into downward facing dog. The fingers are spread nice and far apart. Good. From here, bring the knees down. And I'm going to face you, but you can stay where you are. We're going to bring our legs into 90-90. So the left shin will come to the top of your mat, and then the right shin will come to the side of your mat. So both legs are at 90 degrees angles. One shin is to the front of you, the other shin is to the side of you. Once you're here, find equal weight in each of your sitting bones. Sit up nice and tall. Take a few breaths. Just noticing and paying attention to the effects of this pose on you. Start to lean forward, straighten out your right leg. And then bring it all the way out in front of you over top of your left leg. Sit up nice and tall. Come back to the start position, bringing that leg down into 90 degrees. Sit up nice and tall. We'll continue just like that. So straightening the leg, bring it out in front. Sit up nice and tall. Straighten it back behind you. Bring it down 90 degrees. Lean forward, straighten the leg, bring it out in front. Straighten it out to the side, bend it as you set it down. Continue just like this, moving slowly and with control. Allowing the right leg to come over top of the left to the front of your mat. And then bend it as it comes down to the mat to 90 degrees. Your hands can be wherever you like them. And it's okay if you're moving slower than I am. You might start to be feeling a bit of a cramp in your right hip, or maybe a big cramp. That is okay. It just means you're using muscles that aren't used to be working in this way. Let's do one more. Good, 90 degrees, sit up nice and tall. Crown of the head reaches up toward the ceiling. Hands can come down to your lap. And let's breathe here for about 3 breaths. Notice how your body is feeling. Good, let's try that on the other side now. So just switching which shin is in front and which shin is to the side. So now my left shin is to the side, right shin is in front. Hands at heart center, wherever you like them. Let's just take a couple of breaths here. Make sure there's equal weight in each of your sitting bones. You're sitting up nice and tall. Good. Let's now start to lean forward a little bit. Straighten out the back leg, bringing the leg straight out in front of you over top of the right shin. Lean forward once again as you take the leg back down 90 degrees. Sit up nice and tall. Lean forward, straighten the left leg, bring it out to the front. And then out to the side, bending the leg, setting it down. Sit up nice and tall. Lean forward, straighten the left leg, bring it over top of the right shin. Lean forward, bending the leg, set it down, sit up nice and tall. Lean forward, straighten the left leg, bring it over the right shin, sit up nice and tall, lean forward, 90 degrees, set it down. Continue just like this, doing a few more. Noticing the effects that this posture, this movement has on your body, specifically the hips, the left hip in this case. You can move slower. It's okay if you're moving slower than me. And once you have the hang of this movement and you're getting more comfortable with it, maybe you pick up the pace a little bit. We'll do 2 more. This is really, really good work for the hips. Good, sit up nice and tall as the left shin comes down to the ground. Hands can come on the knees or wherever you like them. Ground down through both sitting bones. Reach up tall through your heart and through the crown of your head. We'll just be here for 1 more breath. Good. From here, come into a cross-legged position. And I'm just going to fold my mat in. So I'm going to continue to face this way towards you so you can see better. And I'm just going to fold my mat in so I have more padding for one of my knees, but also so I have more space to do this movement. This is where we're going to use our blanket or our towel. Whichever one you have will work fine. And you're going to make sure it's folded so you have some more padding for your foot, which is going to come onto the blanket. So you can start to set up. We're going to come into gate pose. Your right knee will come onto the mat. Your left foot will come onto the blanket. Hands can be on your hips or at heart center, whatever you like. And your left leg will be extended out long. Stay right here for just 1 full breath before we move into the movement. Now start to bring your leg farther out to the left, coming into a deeper range of motion. And then using the strength of your inner thigh, pull the blanket in towards the mat. Continue just like this. Pull the blanket out away from your mat and then back towards your mat. Decreasing the range of motion as you come in, increasing the range of motion as you pull it out. We'll do about 10 of these. Move slowly and with control. Feel this left inner thigh working hard for you here. And the right inner thigh here on the bent leg side will also be supporting you in this pose. So it is working hard for you as well. Let's do 2 more. Last one here. Good. Have a seat on your feet, coming into a kneeling seat. Or cross-legged if you prefer. Notice how your left hip, left side of the body is feeling. Take a couple of breaths here. Good. From here, we're going to swap sides. So I'm going to unfold that side of my mat, fold the other side in so I have more space and also so I have some padding. You can set up however you like. And this time the left knee is going to be on the mat. Left leg will be bent. Right leg will extend out long. The right foot will be on the blanket. Let's take a couple of breaths here with the hands on the hips or wherever you like them before we get into the movement. Can you ground down through the left knee, the left shin, the top of the left foot, as well as the right foot on the blanket? Can you lift up through your torso, the crown of the head, as well as your heart? Let's now get into this movement. So bring the blanket out away from you and then back in towards the mat. Bringing the foot away from your mat, all the way out to the side. Just going into your range of motion here. Out to the right, and then back towards center. Move slow and with as much control as you can manage. If you ever feel like you have lost control of the movement, you can take a break, take a couple of breaths, come back into it when you're ready, and decrease that range of motion. So don't allow your right foot to slide out as much. We're halfway there, so we'll do about 5 more. And it's perfectly okay if you're not going at the same pace as me. Maybe as you get the hang of this movement, as you get more comfortable with it, you'll move a little bit faster. Let's do 2 more. 1 more, slide that right leg out. Slide it back in. Come to a seat, whatever comfortable seat you prefer. Taking a couple of breaths here. Breathing in and breathing out. Noticing any sensations in the body. Observing your thoughts. Observing how you feel in this moment in time. Good. Open your eyes if you had them closed. Bring your blanket to the side. We won't be needing it anymore. And I'm going to open my mat back up. We're going to move into some single leg reverse table lifts. So come to a seat, your legs will be bent, hands will come behind you. All 10 toes face forward, top of the mat, hands come back behind you. Fingers can face however feels best for you and your body today. So that could be the front, the side, or back. So before we go into single leg, we're gonna just do it traditionally, both legs down, and then we'll try single leg. So make sure your fingers are spread nice and far apart. Press into your feet, into your hands, lift your hips up. Stay right here, squeeze your glutes, engage your hamstrings and your glutes. Look up towards the ceiling if that feels okay for your neck. And lower back down. Let's try that one more time. Press into the hands and into the feet. Lift on up. Good, lower down. This time we'll lift the right foot up off of the mat and press into the left foot and the hands, just using the strength of the left leg instead of both legs. Lift up and lower. We're going into constant movement here, so we're not holding the pose. Lift and lower, lift and lower. If you have a block or a book or something, you can place your left foot, the one that is on the mat, on that block or book for a little bit more of range of motion. Let's do 3 more, 2 more, 1 more. Good, plant the right foot down, lift up, pressing down into both feet. Traditional reverse tabletop, lower down. This time, lift the left leg up, off of the mat, press down into your right foot and your hands to lift yourself up. Lower down and lift. So your hips just touch the mat, and then right away you press your hips back up. The elbows are not bending and straightening in this pose. They stay straight this entire time with maybe just a slight bend. Let's do 3 more. 1 more. Good, set that foot down. Set your hips all the way down. Just wrap your arms around your legs. Bring your forehead towards your knees. And just breathe right here. Good. From here, make your way into downward facing dog. Come into a tabletop position, hands and knees. Fingers are spread nice and far apart, toes tuck under, lift your hips up and back to the sky, looking back towards your feet at the back of your mat. From here, step your right foot through in between your hands. Bring your right foot to the right edge of your mat. Both hands come to the inside of the foot. The left knee, the back knee is lifted up here. Think of bringing the left heel further behind you to the back of the room. Ground down into both of your hands as well as the right foot and the ball of the left foot. Good. From here, take the right arm, reach it up to the ceiling, look up to the right hand if that feels okay for your neck. Come into your twist. Bring the right hand down, bring the left knee down. Settle into your lizard pose with the back knee down this time. For a few breaths, you can find any movement that you like or hold the pose, find stillness. So if you're working on finding some movement, you can shift the weight forward and then back, or maybe from right to left, whatever feels good for you here. Let's now take the right hand onto the right thigh or the right knee and look over the right shoulder towards the back of your mat. Coming into a bit of a twist. Take one more really big breath here. Bring the right hand down to the mat. And then bring the right foot back so it's in between your hands. Tuck the left toes under, lift up the left knee, and start to straighten both legs. So they don't have to be completely straight. They can be as bent as you need them to be. And just working into this pose, whatever that looks like for you. The left heel is lifted, so you're just on the ball of the left foot. Good. Plant the hands down. Step back into downward facing dog. The hips go high, looking towards the back of your mat, to your feet. Let's do this little sequence on the other side. Left foot steps through in between the hands. Bring it to the left edge of your mat. Both hands come to the inside. Settle into your lizard pose, active lizard, since we have the back knee lifted up. The shoulders stack over top of the wrists, and the fingers are spread nice and far apart. Ground down into both hands, as well as the left foot and the ball of the right foot. Reach the right heel further behind you to the back of the room. Good. From here, take your left arm, reach it up towards the ceiling, look up towards the left hand, come into your twist. Bring the left hand down, bring the right knee down, coming into traditional lizard with the back knee down. Find any movement that feels good, or simply find stillness in the pose. From here, take the left hand to the left knee or the left thigh. Look over the left shoulder towards the right foot at the back of your mat, finding a twist. Ground down into the right hand, the right shin, the right foot, and the left foot here. Keep twisting back towards the back of your mat. Release, come back to center, tuck the right toes under, lift up the right knee, bring the left foot back through center in between your hands, and start to straighten out through both knees. Gradually folding over the left leg. Your knees can be as bent as they need to be here. And your back heel, your right heel is lifted up, so you're just on the ball of the right foot. Take one more breath here. Plant your hands down, fingers spread nice and far apart. Step back to downward facing dog. Release your knees down. Come into your child's pose. Big toes come to touch. Knees can be as far apart as you like. Maybe to the edges of your mat, or they can be closer together. It's up to you. You'll sit the hips down towards the heels. Arms can reach out in front, or maybe you have the hands towards the feet. The hands towards the feet works better if you have your knees closer together. Make any adjustments that you need to. Settling into this pose. We'll be here for 5 to 10 breaths. What can you notice about your breath? How fast is it moving? Does it feel smooth? Or a little bit more rough and choppy? Are you breathing down in towards your belly, or just up into your chest? Is your breath deep or shallow? Are your inhales and your exhales equal in length, or is one longer than the other? Two more breaths in this pose. Walk your hands in towards your knees. Come up to a seat. Bring your knees in towards one another. You can come into a cross-legged seat if you prefer. We're just going to bring our hands onto our lap. Close the eyes and take a few breaths here. Good. In your own time, come onto your back and come into Shavasana. If you prefer, you can take your final pose just as you are in this seated position and continue to just breathe, focusing on that breath, taking this time to pause and reflect. If you are coming down onto your back, make sure that you take the time to get comfortable. making any adjustments or movements that you need, and then settling in. Don't be afraid to take up a lot of space in Shavasana. Close your eyes if that feels okay for you. Otherwise, keep them open. And what can you notice about your body right now? What kind of sensations can you observe? How do you feel now in comparison to the start of your practice? How does your right hip feel compared to your left hip? How do your hamstrings feel? There are no right or wrong answers. Simply take this opportunity to reflect upon today's class, become aware of how the physical body is feeling. We challenged our bodies in class today, specifically the hips, the hip flexors, and the hamstrings. So now, just taking this time to allow everything to come together, to give your mind and your body this time to rest and to soak it all in. Please stay here for as long as you would like. Take your time, only come out of it when you feel ready. Thank you so very much for sharing your practice with me. I hope you enjoyed this class. I would love it if you subscribed to my channel, if you left me a comment. I would also appreciate it if you shared my channel or this class with one of your friends or family or on social media. Thank you so much for all you do to support me and my channel. I post a new yoga class every Friday. The light in me sees and recognizes the light in you. Namaste.